Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to an early morning live stream. Yes, it is me, despite the fact that I am wearing a shirt, an actual shirt with somewhat of a sleeve. It is Reggie Simmons, and Regie Collects. So I want to say good morning to my comic book swolja, Aaron Finkelstein, with the rendition of hello in the room here on the early morning. So I woke up this morning to a slew of messages on my most recent video and also in my direct messages regarding some comments that have been made 2 days ago, technically, by Comics Explained. I am Rob Jefferson. So I want to talk about those things very briefly before I head out to work. So we're going to keep this one brief. So let me say hello to some other folks that have now joined in the room here. Aaron Finkelstein is definitely here. Yes, I am looking for you, Aaron Finkelstein. It's good to see you, brother. Good morning to you. Beta Ray Comics is in the house. Tina is here. Yamaha Joe is here. Jerry P is in the house. Sorry, I am butchering that. I apologize. 616, welcome. Matt Forge is in the house. It's good to see all you guys, and thank you for joining me for this early morning. I think this is the earliest I've ever been on. It is 5:56 a.m. Pacific time. It is early. I've only had one cup of coffee, but we are going to persevere in our slightly decaffeinated state. So there were some a tweet that was sent out by Comics Explained, and you guys have heard me talk about Comics Explained before. I absolutely love this guy. I literally watch his content every day, and it almost doesn't matter what it is. I mean, I enjoy the Marvel stuff more than the DC stuff, but even the DC stuff I kind of sort of listen to. The guy is a fantastic YouTuber, right? There is no doubt about that. But he sent out a tweet the other day that has people scratching their heads, and the tweet was, "In the age of smartphones and tablets, I don't really understand why so much emphasis is put on keeping physical comic book stores alive." That was his comment. There were 22 retweets, 490 likes. And as I scrolled down, the very first comment is actually from a subscriber here at Regie Collects by the name of Jess Pele. Jess Pele is an awesome dude that I really dig. His comment to him was, I have physical comics that hold strong memories for me, and comic collecting molded my life in very positive ways. It all started with my dad and I bonding over his comic collection that I own now when I was a kid. A tablet with a Comixology sub, while cool, can't do that. So here is the truth of the matter, is that people should not necessarily be upset at Rob. And I say that because Rob is expressing his point of view. He is sharing with us his point of view. And so it can't be wrong because it's his point of view. We may disagree with it, but it is his perspective. Here is the truth. The truth is Rob is not a comic book collector. He is not a comic book collector, and that's actually okay. If you watch this guy's videos, the guy knows his comics. There is no doubt about that. I mean, the way he connects dots, the way that he tells stories, the way he tells us what's happening in the current comic book and then ties it back to some stuff that happened 10 years ago, it really is impressive. And the guy either does a ton of research and or just has all of this in his head. Either way, what he offers to the comic book community and the comic book market is some fantastic content, and that cannot be denied. But the truth is, he is not a collector, and that's actually okay. I was once buying a car. I was in my 20s. I was buying a car. This guy was telling me all about the car. He was like, this is a great car. It handles so well around curves. If you want to go fast and you want to hit a curve, the car will be right there with you. The car is designed to be responsive. I mean, he's selling me on the car. And I'm like, yes. Give me the car. So I signed for the car. And as I'm completing my paperwork, I watch him walk out to the parking lot, and he gets in his personal car, which is not the car that he just sold me. He got into a completely different kind of car. And I'm like, but I made the assumption that this guy drove the same kind of car that he was selling me on. And the truth is, I a little disappointed? Yeah, I was like, well, how did you sell me on this car and tell me about this experience as if it were your daily experience? And it wasn't. He was simply giving me the information that I needed to make an informed decision. And so that was a little shocking. But once I got over that shock, it was like, okay, cool, no big deal. You do your thing. I'm going to do my thing. And I continue to drive not that car, but those types of cars. And I absolutely love it. And I have nothing against this other guy. Rob is not a collector. And so what Rob thinks or believes should not impact what we do. I personally love physical comic book shops. I love going and talking with the owners and socializing with other comic book collectors. I love when I can going and getting my books on New Comic Book Day. I enjoy the process of comics, the having the physical comic and the bagging and the boarding and the sorting and the organizing and the flipping of the page. I love all of that. That is not Rob's thing. And maybe we are disappointed in Rob because he's not a comic book collector. But think about it. If you've ever watched his video, has he ever held up a comic in a video? I don't think I've ever seen him hold a comic in any video. And I watch a lot of his videos. So maybe we're disappointed. I get that, right? Maybe we made some assumptions about him. I get that. But he is expressing his point of view. You know what I'm saying? And so, we can't necessarily be upset about that. I am certainly not going to stop watching the dude's videos because I enjoy the videos. You know what I'm saying? So let me see what folks are, let me see what folks are talking about here. Here, Jerry P is saying it. Aside from livelihood, stores are great to socialize with the community and learn more about the hobby face to face. It's that face to face that's missing. Well said. And maybe there is some irresponsible stuff that we could say about Rob, about bro, you have almost 2 million subs, right? Maybe we need to be a little more measured in some of the things that I say, in some of the things that you say, because some of those things could have ramifications for physical comic book shops. I really hope that that is not the case. But the truth is that he is expressing his point of view. He is also probably representing the point of view of many people out there that also don't get it, right? That also don't get the collectible nature of comics, and also don't get why people would ever want to go to a comic book shop, right? He is representing his point of view and probably the point of view of others. And again, they cannot be wrong. My hope is that maybe those people out there, go out and try to investigate why we go to comic book shops and that kind of stuff, So I've read on phones. This is Grant. He says, I've read on phones and tablets and personally find the experience inferior to physical comics. Each medium has advantages and disadvantages. Well said, brother. Well said. I read on digital every night right before bed because I can't read a regular comic book. I don't know if you guys saw that dude on Instagram that actually fell asleep on top of his comic and he showed this Avengers book that was like smashed bits because he rolled over on it. That is real talk. You know what I'm saying? So I'm scrolling down through some of the comments here. Who is Rob? Rob is a YouTuber that has about, I think it's 1.6 million subscribers. He is on YouTube, Comics Explained, fantastic guy. Absolutely love his videos. I watch them every single day, to be honest with you. I think he's a good guy. And he made some comments that has invoked the ire of many. And what I'm simply suggesting is that maybe we cut the guy some slack. Because he is expressing his point of view. We can't say, hey, collect what you like, buy what you like, do what you like, be happy, and then say, oh, but you suck. You can't do that. So his comments were, in the age of smartphones and tablets, I don't really understand why so much emphasis is put on keeping physical comic book stores alive. And so his perspective, I don't agree with it at all. But that's actually okay. I'm actually cool with that. Closet Geek, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. He said, what's up? Finally made it to catch a live stream. Brother, you catch a lot of them. But as of late, I think you've been a little busy. So, yeah, he's not only a YouTuber. Wait, what does it say? He is not the only YouTuber with those views. I think you're probably right about that. And then the thing is, does it Does it mean that we shouldn't watch their videos? In my opinion, no, it doesn't. What it says is, that this person has a point of view, shares that point of view. And if you don't agree with it, cool, right? I think you can still enjoy someone's content, even if you don't necessarily agree with the things that they say. You know what I'm saying? Scrolling down through some of the comments here, I may have to read that because I think Comic Storian and Rob actually know one another. I think that there is a relationship there. I know that Rob has been around for a while. He knows a lot of YouTubers that are out there. So scrolling down through some of the comments here, see if I missed anything. Ariel, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you, man. Scrolling down through some of the comments here, Dre Boogie from the mitten. If you guys don't know what mitten is, it's Michigan, from the mitten. Scrolling down through the comments here. I'm actually going to be jumping in the car here in a couple of moments and actually watching Rob as I head out to work, because that's what I do every single day. What does it say? What does it say? He says, Reggie, no one watches him for the comics he shows because he doesn't. We watch him for the information he provides. Exactly. And there you go. And that does not change. I don't think that has changed one bit, as evidenced by me saying I'm about to go watch and listen to the guy in the car right now. He does a really fantastic job of telling fantastic stories, connecting the dots between the old and the new, explaining comics. I mean, as the name implies, the dude explains comics, and you cannot beat that. You really cannot beat that. But again, I don't think that we have to agree with everything that someone says in order to still derive some value from other aspects of what they talk about. So, James Tomlinson, how you doing, brother? He says, I love comics in physical form and on a tablet, but I like to hold my books in my hands, to each their own. Well said, brother. Here we go. Oh, what is this? Oh, the irony of Comics Explained not understanding the point of collecting. I mean, but it's like anything else, right? If you try to explain comics and comics collecting to like your wife or significant other, in many cases, they don't get it either. Right. But Rob is a little different in that Rob has immersed himself into this hobby and is still like, it's not my thing. And so at least where he's coming from is an informed point of view. And again, we don't agree with him, but it is what it is. It's like art. We can see it online and view it through pictures, but to actually hold and that is well said. This is actually really insightful, because I can tell you, I've seen a photo of the Mona Lisa many times. I've seen it many times everywhere. And I can tell you that when I walked into the Louvre, into that little room where the Mona Lisa was, I was struck by the Mona Lisa. I was struck by the size of it, because it wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be, but it also had an impact on me being in such proximity to something so important that is readily recognizable by millions of people everywhere. It struck me. And to me, that is to Ariel's point here, that proximity to something that great has an emotional and almost physical impact on someone, right? If you watch my hunting video that I released yesterday, going through those long boxes of those amazing books had a physical impact on me, right? And I will be able to remember that experience for a long time, because I was touching a really awesome book in fantastic shape. And I can do this all day long with my phone, and it has no impact on me, right? It is very, very different. And clearly Rob does not enjoy that. And you know what? That is perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? Aggressively relaxing is taking a completely contrarian point of view, which I respect. He says he is 100% right. Everyone should stop collecting physical copies, making everything cheaper for me. I mean, he has a point. I mean, I'll add to that. Stop collecting, stop buying them, and then send me all of your inventory of only your most expensive books. Send it directly to me. I'll even pay the postage. All right. So with that, I am going to wrap this thing up. I got to get myself out of here. I need to head to work, and I'm about to go jump in the car and listen to Comics Explained on the way to work, because that's pretty much what I do every day, because I dig what the dude does, even though I don't necessarily agree with all of his viewpoints. But hey, That's life, right? Enjoy yourselves. If you guys want to talk more about this, feel free to reach out to me at Regie Collects on Instagram or regiecollects@gmail.com. I might even be going live a little bit later tonight. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? But if you guys need me, I'm not too hard to find. Take care.